We're walking along the Appalachian Trail, having just passed through the parking lot and now heading to Three Forks. I think it was 3.4 miles ahead, but that was maybe half of a mile ago. Making good time this morning. We didn't get a chance to shoot a video last night or this morning. My intent is to do a pre-brief of what we plan to hike for that day, then shoot some shots during the day and do an out brief at night. No plan survives first contact. So yesterday, I'll show you some images of us completing the approach trail and reaching the southern terminus. One lesson on the southern terminus is that, of course, not being critical in any way, but equal rights to all. It's filled with a lot of day hikers, and so we were unable to really shoot a video there or get any quality time, because people who were going to spend an hour up there smoking and joking were doing that, and the thru hikers just have to make their way through the mass in order to log in, shoot some pictures and move on to find some place to stay. For us, it was Springer Mountain Shelter. We camped. There were about 10 of us. In fact, nobody planned on staying in the shelter. But one father and son, Thomas, and I can't remember the father's name, but we'll see them again up trail. We saw them at the lodge. I think I mentioned to you meeting Thomas at the lodge. Anyway, once they had seen the radar report, and once they realized that the weather was going to turn south overnight, they put their tent away and went into the shelter. It was a smart decision, I guess, on their part. We sort of made a bit of a mistake, I think. We ate. We're sitting around with everybody, having a good conversation and all, but we wanted to sort of square our things away, and we were exhausted, so we ended up going to bed at 7:30. And that was way, way, way too early. And I should have stayed up and shot the out brief video. But through the night we had very high winds. Learned a bit of lesson about myself. And that is that I guess if I have any innate fear, it's of a tree coming crashing down through the tent, because I spent a good portion of last night worried about that. The critters, and big and small, don't really bother me, and the hiking I find to be very relaxing, peaceful. The camping piece, frankly, not so much. Certainly not at this stage in this hike. The camping is definitely something that I have to learn the art of, because it turns out just being pack explosion. Our first ford. It turns out being a pack explosion. Where are we going? You see a white blaze?
White blaze
Is it that way? As we came across that little creek, I see no white blaze. Do a 360 and see if you can find one, baby. Oh, it looks like there's a heavily traveled path over here. I still don't see a white. Oh, here it is. Yep. So back to the point. It ends up being a pack explosion. And then trying to get your gear squared away for dinner, for your night clothes, putting stuff under cover so it doesn't get soaked through the night, then waking up in the morning after a fitful night's sleep, trying to find your gear, put on wet clothes, get breakfast going, and get water and do all those chores. We didn't get out of there until about 9:15 this morning. Now, it was teeming pouring rain. Last night, not really rain, mostly just sprinkles with very high winds. I'd say, gusts certainly over 65 miles an hour. This morning, teeming pouring rain as we were trying to pack up. So that slowed things down considerably for us. But these are the lessons learned. This is what I guess people say, and the trail will teach you what you need to know. So here we are, continuing on to Three Forks. Those are some lessons learned. I've got some others regarding the use of a bladder, vice the use of smart water bottles. The former, which is very effective in providing water during the day for the hike, are not effective at night when you're trying to have water for your camp. Now, you know that I have an ever-new 2-liter specifically for camp to help, but it wasn't quite enough for the two of us, so I had to tap into my smart water bottles, which are great for being flexible and ease of use, are much more difficult as far as filling, unless I guess you have 2 filters, but you got to fill one bottle. When you use the Sawyer filter, as you may or may not know, of course no air can get back into the bottle, so you can only get about half the bottle out. Then you have to take the filter off or ease it enough to break the bubble lock, and then continue filling. So it's a slow process to fill either your reserve bladder or to fill your second smart water bottle. So flexible, but definitely more difficult than simply filling a Camelback or something with dirty water and then having an inline Sawyer Mini or something to process that. So the other thing is that the smart water bottles don't marry up well with the packs. I think Osprey has one of the best designs for carrying water bottles. And I'm not talking about add-on stuff, I'm talking about what it comes with. The Exos comes with nylon elastic bags that aren't so large that the bottles can flip over or flip out easily, like you find with some of the other brands. It also has a division between it standing, allowing the bottle to stand straight up alongside the pack, and being sort of in a holster position, leaning forward. Both of them, well, the ones that are leaning forward are easily reachable as you're walking along, which is nice, but they're also positioned so that they dig into your sides, into your rib cage. If you put the Sawyer filter on the one, then it projects way out. And for example, it doesn't fit easily under my tarp. Now others have add-ons which goes onto the straps, and you can sort of course attach those. That's great if you're wearing a rain jacket, but again, doesn't fit under the poncho very well. And if you use the pouches that stand straight up and down, you can't reach them while you're walking. So anyway, I mean, these are lessons learned. This is what I was looking for as far as information in making decisions before I got out here. And these are things that I'll be passing along to you to help you prepare for a section or a thru hike. Because I am not a thru hiker. I'm only playing one on TV. Hopefully by Katahdin I will be. But I can tell you that today, or last night, was quite a mental challenge for me. Simply dealing with the chaos and trying to keep things dry, relatively dry, and also get some sleep with some really wicked winds. We did put up the tent really well, I'll say that. We're in the Big Agnes Copper Spur HVUL2. It's easy setup, it was real fast, but we were able to tighten it down. It didn't loosen up too much like it normally does with still nylon and rain. So it you know, I expected some sagging and having to go out and cinch it back up. Didn't really have to do that. And when I went out this morning, it was pretty taut. You know, it could definitely have been used to tighten it up a little bit, and we did. So that was nice for just making sure that the rain, which started really heavy in the morning, was not able to seep through into the tent. And the tent was completely dry in the morning, no condensation from overnight or moisture. The vestibules on that tent are great. They're nice and big, certainly big enough, and we were able to position the tent, of course, to make sure that we didn't have the rain or the wind coming directly in. So anyway, it was an interesting first night. And now here is the first day, really, on the Appalachian Trail, but our second day getting to this point. So I know it's long-winded, but I think the point of this channel is to help provide some good images, but also the reality of what I'm experiencing, what we're experiencing now. Elle's doing great. She hasn't had any sort of foot, ankle, hip sort of problems. I have a slight pain in my hip today, but nothing that hasn't been overcome by stretching, so it's fine. It's just normal soreness, more so than pain. Okay, so I'll get back to you with other images and less chatter. Watch out, that twist right there. Okay, we're about a mile out from Hawk Mountain Shelter. It's been a huge ascent again, just like it was this Springer. Maybe this is a pattern. The shelter's at the mountain peaks. I just wanted to bring you up to speed. Not looking at much but the tips of my shoes at this point. Be back with you. You lead, I'll follow.
Yeah, but I go slow.
No, you don't.